Homes underwater and over 120 dead after Hurricane Helene ravaged North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So where's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? The only leader to show up was Donald Trump.
As you know, our country is in the final weeks of a hard-fought national election. But in a time like this, when a crisis hits, when our fellow citizens cry out in need, none of that matters. We're not talking about politics now. We have to all get together and get this solved. We need a lot of help. They have to have a lot of help down here. We look out for one another. We pull together. We pitch in. We persevere, and we pull it through. And that's why today I've come to Valdosta with large semi-trucks, many of them, filled with relief aid and a tanker truck filled up with gasoline, which they can't get now. And we'll be working to distribute it throughout the day. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that.
These are the things presidents and vice presidents do. So what's the White House doing?
Have you reached out to President Biden about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now, actually.
Over 100 Americans drowned, and Biden spent the weekend at the beach.
Hurricane, Mr. President, why weren't you and Vice President Harris here in Washington commanding this weekend?
I was commanding. I was on the phone for at least 2 hours yesterday and the day before as well. I commanded. It's called a telephone. It's all my security people.
The media was dogging Joe all day about it.
Do you wish that you had more resources in North Carolina, knowing what you know now? And do you wish that you spent the weekend here in Washington rather than in Delaware?
Come on, it's not like it. We're in Delaware. It's 90 miles from here, okay? And I was on the phone the whole time working on that. And the resources, the question is not whether we get more. This is a list of every resource we're getting in there. But the question is how to get it in.
Donald Trump has accused both of you of ignoring the disaster.
He is lying. Let me get this straight. He's lying.
Well. Looks like someone is presidential material and someone is not. Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Wow. You guys know about all of the hurricane damage that happened in Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina, and I live in Georgia. Thankfully, the part of Georgia that I am in was not really damaged, not the area that I'm in, just some little small branches, leafy branches in my yard. No structural damage. I didn't even really wake up during the thing. I'm a heavy sleeper, but thank you all for those who've been praying for us. But the thing we want to talk about today is we're going to talk about leadership, real feet on the ground leadership versus just talking on the phone. Okay, you can say what you want to about Donald Trump. No one's perfect, but when it really matters, he's there. But before we get further into the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch the video to the end. Now let's get back into it. What I wanted to share with you guys is, you saw Donald Trump really on ground in Valdosta, Georgia, which was amazing because he was where there was actual damage, talking to people, delivering relief aid, and actually donated $25 million to help. But this is what Kamala Harris was doing. It says another staged fake photo op where Kamala pretends to be working. Notice the earphones aren't actually plugged in and she's staring at a blank page. Wow. Look closely at this. Here's her phone. The headphones are not even plugged in, and you see that they're hanging down, and there's no evidence of a cord entering into the phone. And it appears that the page is blank. So this is more of a photo op. Okay. So while she's doing this, Donald Trump is doing this. You see Valdosta for Trump? So this is in Valdosta, Georgia, and there was a sign that said Valdosta for Trump. And here's another video. There doesn't appear to be any audio with this video right here, but he's in Valdosta meeting with the people, shaking their hands. He's doing all of this where Kamala Harris is, pretending, doing a photo op. And Joe Biden is like doing what he's doing. He's not actually, he's on the phone, he said. He's called a telephone. He's not actually feet on the ground. Donald Trump is more of a hands-on president. He has shown Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for what they are, and that is fake, not really for the people. He's meeting with the military. He's talking with these people right here, looking them in the face, spending time with them. And see, this is why the left had to come up with some bogus mess about some kind of altercation at the Arlington National Cemetery, where Donald Trump was comforting the Gold Star families after they lost their loved ones in that Afghanistan pullout back in August of 21. And Donald Trump was there. Well, they invited Kamala Harris and Biden, but they did not show up. And Kamala Harris and her campaign had to make up this story about Donald Trump causing an altercation. There was no altercation. The families came out in support of Donald Trump, saying that he was there, being there, taking phone calls, versus people who are making up lies, saying, oh, this happened when Donald Trump was there. Because remember, they felt bad that they weren't there, so they had to try and hurry up and come up with something. So honestly, the Kamala Harris campaign is just built on lies. And if you've seen my videos with Candace Owens, by way of Candace Owens doing her research into Kamala Harris's family, you have got to go check those out. I did 2 lives. I want to do a recorded video, and you've got to see that, because it looks like even her history of her family has been called into grave question. And Kamala Harris, Candace Owens says, you need to answer for this. Because people are out there saying they're voting for her because she's Black, which there is no good reason to vote for someone just because of their ethnicity. Let's just be clear. But there are people, Black people are saying, well, because she's Black, because she's a woman. Well, she's a woman, all right. But the Black part, that's just blown up. This is just something she did to get Black people's votes. And when they find out, the people that were supporting Kamala Harris and other Black people find out that she just said that to get votes, it is going to be horrible for her. You know, us prayer warriors have been praying, and we have been steadfast on the wall, hands on the altar, saying, Lord, Lord, come and direct this election. Okay, let's look at another clip.
The federal government is not being responsive, but they're having a very hard time getting the president on the phone. He won't get on, and of course the vice president, he's out someplace campaigning, looking for money. So they have to be focused over here. This is too big. This is a really bad one. And the governor's doing a good job, but he's having a hard time getting the president on the phone. They're being very non-responsive. We're also going to be talking with North Carolina.
Now, I'm not sure if you could hear that. There was a lot of noise in there, but Donald Trump was saying that the governor of Georgia is having a hard time getting Biden or Harris on the phone. They're having a hard time. They're very non-responsive, and Donald Trump is there on the ground, noticing that this is a huge catastrophe. There, people have lost their lives, and there are some still without power. Places are flooded. So again, this is how a president acts, but this is how someone who is not presidential material acts.
Trying to get the exact number. My FEMA advisor is on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs. It's stunning.
It's unbelievable. But it really is. Such a wide area.
And we're getting them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time.
Wow. At least George W. Bush looked out from an airplane over the damage done in New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina. So much difference between the leaders. You can just see it night and day. Donald Trump on the ground. Others, phony staged phone pictures. Yes, with the earbuds not even plugged into the phone. Yeah, that Kamala Harris. Boy, you just gotta hand it to her. Someone said, you know what? Let's check out some of these comments. You're too kind calling her photos fake and staged. Let's be real. Kamala's idea of emergency management is probably asking her staff, can't we just wheel the hurricane away. She's there on her phone pretending to be in charge. But as you pointed out, she can't even plug in her headphones, right? It's like watching a child play president with a disconnected toy phone. Meanwhile, real Americans are suffering. And what do we get? A photo op where she's probably thinking, do I look empathetic enough? And let's talk about leadership under Biden and Harris. Leading means looking busy while doing nothing. They left Americans in Afghanistan like they just items on a checklist. Oh, did we forget those? Oopsie. Now with Hurricane Helene, they're treating the disaster like a vacation spot. Let's visit, take a pic, and then back to our comfy lives. Donald, you're right. They come last because these leaders are too busy staging their next photo or figuring out how to make a disaster look good on a resume. But you go there, you bring supplies, you're on the ground, not just in the air with your headphones in, pretending to care. Kamala, maybe next time, focus less on your photo angle and more on actual leadership. But then again, that would require knowing how to lead, not just how to pose. Wow. It says, so embarrassing for you, pretending to write on a piece of blank paper and pretending to listen to a call from FEMA about Hurricane Helene, but your headphones aren't even plugged into your phone. Wow. Another photo op fake. Kamala pretends to be briefed on Hurricane Helene damages, but her earphones are not attached to the phone. So this is what we have right now. Okay, we have a decision to make, Americans. We have a decision to make. Do we want more fake or do we want real? Sometimes real comes across rough around the edges. Sometimes real doesn't say what you want to hear. Sometimes real is a bitter pill to swallow, but it is what it is. When you're honest with people, sometimes it does hurt their feelings, but you're being honest and you're the same way wherever you go. Kamala Harris fakes accents, fakes being on the phone, fakes being on a call with FEMA. She's fake, 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 just all around fake. And in any event, we need real leadership. Thank you all so much for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God and your families, these United States of America. And as they always say, march on, warriors.